Last weekend, I visited Cotonou, the commercial capital of the Republic of Benin, Nigeria's French-speaking and closest neighbor. If the phrase, "no hurry in life," was a country, it should be Republic of Benin. The citizens are laid back and life there is unhurried. From Cotonou, the former administrative capital, to the commercial capital, an atmosphere of contentment that is visible on the faces of the citizens pervades. Coming from bustling Lagos, it was a major difference that instantly regulated my pace to a slower, more rhythmic one. The doubting Thomas that I was, I Googled the suicide rate of the country. To be sure, I read that contentment right. It is 7.8% per 100,000 populations, against Nigeria's 17.3 per 100,000 populations. And Nigeria's is higher than the global average of 10.5 and the African average of 12% per 100,000. Benin is one of the poorest countries in Africa. I find it paradoxical that their currency is better than Nigeria's. 20,000 naira became 7,500 sefa in my hands. Three things are outstanding about Benin Republic to me: discipline in transportation system, punctuality, and a love for culture. There is a parallel mini road for motorcycles that prevented them from wrestling the space with cars, and a walkway for pedestrians to dignify walking. Speeding is an offense in the country, just as not wearing helmets on keke, their own Okada. The speed limit in Benin Republic is an unusual 60 km/h. Compliance with use of helmets for motorcycle riders in Benin was 98%. Like my guide, citizens carried one on them, while riders had spares for passengers. Travel journalist Belua Officer says the 940 meters graffiti wall in Cotonou is the longest in Africa. And for me, seeing the 30-meter Agoje warrior statue was the most memorable. Remember the movie Woman King? It's an authentic story of Dahomey Kingdom's military women. I was thrilled endlessly. In conclusion, there's a trust deficit in Nigeria. While the Benin part of the journey was stressless, the Nigerian side on our return journey was the opposite. There were just too many checkpoints from different uniformed personnel for an international route.
All right, so lovely monologue. I love the way you try to tell the story and calibrate it in a way to make us try to imagine ourselves in that environment. And I can imagine myself there, because typically, countries or places where you have the French culture, the French influence, there's a bit of emphasis on, you said laid back, but it's not really laid back. It's just the pace of them doing things. They're a bit relaxed. I mean, a Frenchman will go for lunch for 2 hours, and he'll take his time. He's not going to rush it. And I think that that's also part of what you see. What interests me is that the Benin Republic, historically, it's used to be the Dahomey Kingdom.
Yes.
The Dahomey Kingdom at that time extended even far to the southwest of Nigeria. And I think the language they speak now is Ofon. But
that's the major language, but they also speak Yoruba. They speak about four major languages.
They speak Yoruba,
yes.
Because when you see the Yoruba language goes from Nigeria to Benin to Togo, yes, and all that. So there's in a way, historically, when you link them, well, it's like, this could be Nigerians also, and then you actually saw the question, why are they able to regulate themselves over there in terms of how they, behave and all that? Why can't we do it here? Why can't we do the same things that, are they not the same Africans or the same people who are culturally linked? That's what makes you realize that our issues with our people here is not. It's not
the government. It's we the people, really.
It's not cultural. It's just we decided to be who we are today. And I say that also in perspective. I've said it here before that I saw this country when it was functional. All right. I used to go to school in the late 70s. Okay. on the Lagos Island itself, Broad Street. That was where my school, my nursery school was, okay? And I used to, at that time, as young as I was, I would take a bus from Tinubu Square down to Festac, and we will queue. We knew the name of the bus, the number, we knew the time, we will queue, and all that. Things, there was a point in this country where things were regulated, where people behaved. But there was just a time when people just said it doesn't matter, okay? It was a decision that we took. We could say that it was driven by the military. You could say that it was driven by the fact that people just didn't see the need to do it, but it was a decision we took. And it comes back to what I always say, can you change Nigeria without changing the Nigerian?
Just to continue from where Inka stopped, right? We always, I mean, you said we just decided to be this way. I don't think we decided to be this way. I think there's always a foundation to everything. I think there probably was a time where everything was coordinated until somebody says, or there was a structure that came up where people prioritize themselves over the collective. So I believe that the reason why we're where we are right now is because at some point in history, somebody decided to say, you know what, I don't care about the status quo. I don't care about the structure. I'm going to do my way because I want. And once somebody starts that, everybody else feels left behind and they want to catch up. And that is the foundation of speed for us. Like, I got to catch up. I've been to Benin Republic, and I mean, the Builders show that we did recently, we had a team from Benin Republic. And there was just something extra, and Kisley was there, so you saw it. There's something extraordinary about these guys. From the first task, right, it had to do with speed. Like everybody that guessed to the, it was called relay of precision. So you move all the different materials to the end, they lost. The second task was foundation laying. You would literally observe this guy. So it's 4 levels of foundation. Everybody else was doing their own. Togo, Nigeria, you see Nigeria, you know what Nigeria is. But you see Benin Republic, they did 3. They couldn't finish it. They did 3 out of 4. Everybody else finished. They won because it was precise.
That's it.
Every other stage, detailed. Every other stage was like that. Then it got to, and they literally they won every stage outside the one that had to do with speed.
Right.
And they now got to the semi-finals where there were just 3 teams left, and whoever wins the competition goes to the finals. Now it was about speed. It was electrical installation. Whoever light comes on first. Guess who won that round?
Nigeria.
Like first of all, Nigeria lost every round. Nigeria lost every round. That was the only round Nigeria won. Because before you go, give me light, boom, there was light. Guess who lost that round? Benin Republic.
Right.
And that's how they were qualified to go to the finals, because they were taking their time. They were placing their, Nigeria just plug wire, light came on. So but when you look at the excellence of everything else that they did, it was perfect.
Nika said something which was quite interesting to me. You said you saw the country when it was functional. That's so powerful, honestly, because it takes you back to the book. There was a country.
Yeah.
You know. So the question now is, where did we get it wrong as a country? And why can't we come together to fix it? Because the truth is, all these people out there trying to say they're going to give us aid, give us this, they're not there to help us fix our country. We as Nigerians have to fix our country ourselves. We have to come together to fix our country ourselves. Then talking about being laid back, you find out that if you go to a lot of African countries, a hell lot of them are laid back.
Yeah,
that's right.
And even when you walk, they're like, why are you walking so fast? Here in Nigeria, the factories you have or the supermarkets you have, they're owned by Nigerians. But in those countries, you find out that a lot of all those businesses aren't owned by the locals. So in some form, they are still kind of held back.
He has responded to what I was going to say in terms of what you said. I don't think that is the people. I always make that reference to when we had Governor Fashola in Lagos and how he was able to change certain cultures because he was able to put in systems and consequences to be able to make that happen. Also, I don't know why I've not visited Benin, to be honest, but most of the African countries I've visited, yes, they can be very laid back. Even in the corporate setting, it's just Nigerians will become frustrated dealing with people in that space. But let's also not forget that Nigeria is not Lagos. There are parts of Nigeria you will go to and you'll be wondering, can't you move?
That one, Disha.
I remember my own home state where you travel and then you're about to enter a bus. The bus will park well. The people in the bus will wait. The person coming to enter will stroll, enter, sit well. The driver will even ask you, are you okay before they move? And that is how they are
What
in those
state
places.
is this?
This is Abia State. You can be relaxed, you can be laid back, but you need to understand where speed is also required, where things has to be instant and things has to be done. Maybe that is also why we cannot have that unity. Okay, let me not say we cannot have. Bryce says never say never. Maybe that is why it will take a long time for us to have that unity we want as Africans to be able to then stand shoulder to shoulder with the Western power.
Right.
Because our culture is very different.
Our culture is very different indeed. I mean, sometimes the grass is greener because where we have neglected our own, others are watering and tending to theirs. Hopefully, Nigeria will start tending to.
Therefore, I say, let's invest in knowledge and developing our human resources so that we no longer neglect but nurture what belongs to us.